problem with the house. Where do I start? We've got leaky roofs. We've got windows that are barely even windows. We have windows that are leaking. Floors, I'm surprised you're not actually falling into a hole.
I don't like it here because whenever it's raining and whenever I go to sleep, some raindrops go leaking onto me.
I'm constantly sick and not feeling good, and it's most likely due to the mold right around my window, and there's some on my wall because from it leaking down, and it's just, I don't feel safe sleeping in my room, honestly.
Our 5-year plan was to save money by coming out here and to fix our credit and do all the things we needed to do so we could have a down payment for a home later and get the financing we needed. Well, shortly after we moved out here, I got really sick, and it was a couple of years to find out exactly what was wrong, and then I was finally diagnosed in 2012 with glomus jungulaire tumors. It just kind of like everything happened at once, so then
Whatever could go wrong went wrong.
Yeah, and it just snowballed. So we were spending money on fixing the car, and we were spending money to go to Iowa City, and it just didn't happen where we could fix up the trailer enough that we could make it a home for us. And it just got worse and worse with the neglect, and now it's unrepairable for us.
So our 5-year plan turned into a 15-year plan.
I'd seen a post from Habitat on Facebook, and I said, well, why don't I try?
Before our Habitat house, we lived in multiple rental properties. So I was about 8 or 9 when we started in 2001, and I want to say I had lived in 3 or 4 rental properties, just kind of bouncing around. The last house we lived on, the landlord was never around or would start a project and never finish it. I remember we had half a porch for basically the whole time we lived there. There had been nails scattered across the lawn, and my brother Skylar, who was like 4, had stepped on a nail, went through his shoe, through his foot. We had to go to the emergency room. It was just one thing after the other that just was never fixed, and it just was never right. I didn't know they were interviewing for a potential Habitat house. I didn't know that our situation was different than other kids. One of the most exciting days I specifically remember was we got off the school bus and the concrete was poured for our sidewalks. To most people, this isn't really a big deal, but we had seen it be grass and dirt for months and months, and to see that there was a sidewalk was super exciting. Our mom came out with a pail of chalk and said, "Here you go, have fun, this is your sidewalk." It wasn't just a sidewalk, it was our own. So we just decorated it, and it was really an exciting thing, especially as kids since we were in elementary school. I also remember that there was this giant celebration once the house was finished. And I remember my little sister Rain, so I have Rain, Skylar, and Noah as my siblings, and Rain was rolling around the floor in our bedroom, and I, just looked at her like, "What are you doing?" She's like, "Is the carpet going to smell like this forever?" And I just said, "The smell like this?" And she's like, "Yes. Is it gonna smell like this forever? It's amazing." But really, what I didn't realize until I got older was she meant, is it going to smell new, clean, happy? Is it going to smell like that forever? It's not like when I was younger we didn't have any money. We weren't dirt poor, as they call it. But it was the budgeting that really hurt our family. Our parents were young parents. They didn't know exactly how to manage their money perfectly. And with 4 children, anything's expensive to do. With the Habitat process, my parents were able to go through financial classes, budgeting classes. They gained really valuable skills, and it shows today how it has stayed with my parents this long.
As part of the process with working with Habitat, we had to meet with a consumer credit counselor.
12, 13, 14.
She really helped us. I mean, it was amazing for her to help us figure out how to budget and how to put money here and over here and pay our current bills she opened our eyes to actually how much money we have coming in
Right.
versus going out, and how to cut back in some areas and how to save, because we had no idea. Their education is going to be a lot better. They're going to be less sick. I mean, because having the problems that we have now with the trailer, I feel like every time we turn around, we're sick.
If we had continued on the path we were before we had got this home, I'm not sure that I would have felt motivated to go to a university. I think that our focus would have been more on living and staying alive versus growing.
When I move to my new house, I want to have my friends over and play some board games.
I want to be able to come home and go sit in my room and know that I'm gonna be safe, and that there's not as much problems with the house, and that on weekends I can have friends come over and I can have my birthday parties at my house instead of having at other people's houses. And just being able to know that whatever happens, it's still gonna be our house and I feel safe in it.
Yeah, it's not just a house, it's not just boards, it's not just concrete. It's a stable foundation for bettering our daughters' lives.
Awesome, you're done. It's not a handout. It's for families that had things happen and just things got out of control for a little while in your life, and it's helping a family get to a point where they can be financially secure and own a home of their own without any huge colossal problems like they are maybe currently in.
I've helped working on other Habitat homes, and it's honestly exhilarating. Every pound of the hammer, I can't stop wondering, is this the room that their baby's gonna take their first steps? Is this the mirror that their daughter is gonna get ready for prom? Sorry. Is this the countertop that's gonna take their parents' breath away? Because for my family, that rang true. We will forever have our own sidewalk because of Habitat for Humanity, and nobody can take that away from us.